I just wanted to take time today on May 19th to share a quick library book haul, as I realize all the books I have borrowed will have to be returned by May 30th, which is unfortunate. I tend to renew them until I can't anymore, and they have finally been placed on hold with less than a month to read them. So let's just hop into it. Have these three lovely bad boys. First is In Her Own League by liztomforde. I was able to put in a request for my library to purchase this, and thankfully they approved. This is following Reese Remington and Emmett Montgomery, both characters of which have been loosely introduced in the Windy City series, but it's not necessary to read that prior to this, so this can be read as a standalone. But Reese Remington becomes the first female team owner in Major League Baseball, basically a woman in a male-dominated field, whereas Emmett Montgomery is a former all-star turned coach, and they have to work in close proximity of each other. They don't really have a good starting off point, first impressions, I imagine. Considering they have to work together for extended periods of time, the attraction only builds, and yeah, they can't resist each other at some point. So very much looking forward to getting into this, as well as, sharing my little bookmark here. It says she needed a hero, so that's what she became. I was gifted this in a haul a while back, so I will be including that in this book here. Definitely planning on getting to this first, as thankfully it is available through Hoopla, and I'll likely be reading it along with the audiobook just to get through it quicker, as I notice I do tend to process faster when I have an audiobook, whereas if I'm only reading physically, it does take me longer to get through it on my own. To step into nonfiction real quick, I have Well Endowed by Viviantu. You may be familiar with Net Worth and Chill, which is her podcast. I also got the chance to read her bestseller, which is Rich AF, and that is the prequel to this, so more along the lines of basics of getting your finances together, tackling debt, student loans, investing, whereas this is talking about generational wealth. And granted, I am not married, I do not have kids, but I do have family and loved ones that I want to help take care of, so that's my reason for picking this up. And this is kind of tackling anything that has to do with mortgages, getting a car, potentially saving for kids you don't have yet, and preparing for travel. All things I may or may not decide to do in the future, but if I do, I want to be prepared, because I feel like we don't really advocate for that much in education, although it should be part of the curriculum. Sadly, economics is not so much anymore, financial literacy not so much, and hearing it from Viviantu, who is like the internet bestie, former Wall Street person, and she also worked at BuzzFeed. She has that charisma that I enjoy, that millennial voice. So yeah, I am looking forward to getting into this and annotating it using my post-it notes. So there's that. And lastly, I have Butter by Asakoyuzuki, and I am looking forward to this because my impression is not only was it inspired by a real life case, but it's about food and tackles topics of like misogyny, obsession, romance, and transgressive pleasures of food in Japan, as noted in the description. So interested in following along with this, as someone is like convicted of a crime, and then there is a journalist who seeks them out to interview, but more so, instead of asking the general questions of why'd you do it, whatever, they decide to ask what recipe they use, and that kind of starts the initial interaction. I'm not sure about anything regarding this book other than that, as I saw on a table at a retail store, but I knew I didn't want to just outright buy it, because that's another rule I've made for myself of not buying books by authors I've never read before, and just seeking out in the library first or borrowing it in some capacity. So yeah, looking forward to this. And those are the 3 books that I decided to borrow from the library. Let me know in the comments down below if you've read any of these or if you have any suggestions for me based on my haul here. So until next time, take care and happy reading.